Hey guys, so this should be a quick video, and I'm just doing it live just because why not have live content? But really, it's no different than if I pre-recorded it. Um, so I'm considering doing a new type of content for my YouTube channel, and I'm going to discuss it here, and we're going to do a few trial runs and see if there's enough interest for me to keep doing it. Um, I don't really know what that level of interest will be. But if it gets 2 views, then I'll know there's no interest. So, um, those of you who know me personally know that I like to re-listen and rewatch and reread the same content. It's sort of a way that some people cope with anxiety. I very rarely watch new television shows or new movies or listen to new podcasts or new music. I rewatch and re-listen to the same content. The West Wing is a big one. Law and Order is a big one. Parks and Rec, The Office. You get the idea. I re-listen to Prince and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's catalog, verbatim. Fred Hammond, John P. Key. And so many of you may or may not know that I'm also a big reader. And before there was internet, before we had devices in our pockets that could do everything, I used to carry paperback novels with me everywhere. And just if I was in the store, in the car, um, at a friend's house, on the toilet, wherever, in line, I would pick up a book and just read. And much like all other content, I tend to reread the same content. I've been this way since I was a child. I think the first series that I read and reread was the Boxcar Children. Um, and there's one series of books in particular that I find very rereadable. Um, and it's interesting because I don't think that I would necessarily call them uh, my favorite books or my favorite author. But hey, baby. Um, but they're the most rereadable for me. And that's the Alex Delaware series by author Jonathan Kellerman. They are mystery novels, which, again, I've always loved mystery novels, whether we're talking about you reading The Boxcar Children as a kid or watching Law and Order as a kid and an adult. I love murder mysteries. Um, and like a lot of the content that I tend to read and watch and listen to, um, that's very character driven. I think I've talked about how I rewatched The West Wing, and it's not so much because I love the politics as much as I love the characters. And I think a lot of really great content that's created for entertainment, whether it's fiction or otherwise, it's because we love the characters more so than the plots. And that's very true. This series of mystery novels focuses on 2 main characters. Alex Delaware, who is a child psychologist who later gets involved in solving crimes. I think when I talk about the first book, we can talk about how he initially gets involved in that. And then Milo Sturgis, who is a detective with the LAPD, who gets involved with Alex. And so the various books are either Milo is called to solve a murder and he calls Alex for help, or Alex is working on a case through his work as a child psychologist, either family court or custody or therapy, anything like that. And if things go bad enough, then he needs police help. And also significant to the arc of the plot and the arc of the characters, Alex is straight and dates multiple women through the series. Milo is gay and dates primarily one guy through the series. And it's considered to be, one of the key tenets of the series that it's a friendship between a straight guy and a gay guy, which I would hope is normal now in 2021. But this series the first book was written in 85 or published in 85. I'm sure it wasn't normal then. So it's considered to be groundbreaking in that way. The author, Jonathan Kellerman, is, I'm assuming, bases the character of Alex a lot on himself, because he's also a child psychologist. Some of the descriptions of Alex, both his personality and physical descriptions, seem to match the author. So there's definitely some of the writing is based on that, which is sometimes interesting, and sometimes it's like, oh, so that's how he really wishes his life went, or that's all the women love him. Oh, of course, So, which brings me to what I'll be talking about in these videos going forward is I'll do a little recap of the books, but they'll be not designed to sell people who haven't read the books on reading them. More, they'll be me talking about the things I like and don't like, as though I'm talking to other people that enjoy the books as much as I do, or as if I was having a conversation with the author himself. So I'll be addressing some of my pet peeves when you reread and rewatch and all that, certain things. As much as I tend to do, certain things really stand out to you that you like and don't like. And I've been very much kind of played out those type of conversations in my head for years. Like, what would I say if I was talking to the author about what I liked and didn't like? What would I say if I was talking to somebody else who read the books as much as I did? And I do that with everything. I do that with music. I do that with television shows and movies and things that I like. But it just so happens that these particular books are a big part of what I do, because I don't know if I even have my phone here, but a few years ago, I made the decision. My wife was trying to convince me to get a Kindle, and I was like, I like holding a real book. But eventually I said, you know what? I reread the Kellerman books more than anything, and then the other books that I reread a lot is the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett, and that's a whole other conversation. I said, what if I just put the Kellerman books on my phone, and then when I pick up my phone, instead of going to Facebook, or instead of checking my texts, or instead of checking my emails, or going to Instagram or Twitter, I can read. I feel like I'm doing something more productive with my time then. And so that's what I've been doing. I downloaded all the books to my phone, and so now if I'm stuck in traffic and the car is not moving, if I'm stuck in line at the bank and the line's not moving, if I'm sitting waiting for takeout, any point in my life when you'd normally be sitting bored, looking for something to capture your attention, instead of going to social media, instead of going to other things that are sometimes productive and sometimes not, I now spend that time reading, and I reread these books. And so what I've been doing, I just started the series again, maybe a month ago, I'm guessing. I've gotten to the third book in the series, and I've started making notes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start, going over those notes in a video. And if other people that read them are interested, and we can talk about it in the comments. Like I said, I may do them live like this, just so that there can be some interaction. But we'll see if enough people are interested. I'll do it for the whole series. And if I do like the first 3 or 4 books and there's not really a lot of interest, then no big deal. It'll just be something else that I've tried. And my wife and I have talked about maybe in the future doing couples reaction videos to Marvel movies, because she's very into that, much more so than I think I'm into anything. And we often have discussions that probably would be viable content for the internet. So, that, of course, that's a much bigger audience. So, if this is something that interests you, comment and let me know. The next couple days, I will do the first book and just see if there's an audience for it. So, looking forward to your feedback. And I will come back with another installment within a day or two. Thanks for watching.